say about, turn 1 or 2. So it'll be interesting. Look, Mebby's in the dirt already. Look at this. But this guaranteed to be an exciting race. Round 18, the penultimate round of the PRL Season 8 Championship. We are down to the nitty-gritty, Hoodius, and it's about time to put up or shut up. These guys are going to have a chance to make or break their championship seasons right here.
Now, one thing to really keep in mind, in pretty much every track in F1, you have your long straight leading to turn 1, and it's normally a prime passing opportunity. Not here. Turn 1 into turn 2 is very dangerous. It's not a normal chicane. It's super tight, very high speed. So going in side by side is going to be really scary, and that's what everybody's about to do.
So here come the lights. Round 18 about to start. They're green. Hard to tell who got the best launch from here. You can see the guys fanning out in the center. Mebby is going into one with Nick Dahi to his inside. He holds it. A little bit of contact, not too much. Enough to allow Forza Alonso around, however. He has made his way into second place. Dahi now under fire from the Mercedes of Majacco. Majacco's got to be very careful. Lance Stroll around the outside of Majacco.
We have 4 cars that have faced damage, and I believe Aaron was one of them. I'm trying to find it right now.
Oh, no. We're looking at Bubba here, running as Majacco's teammate. He went off in what was turn 3. Aaron Webb back here in the back, like we said.
So I saw 4 wide going into turn 1, and that's what spun Gordau out. Not sure what happened with Aaron, and I believe... Let's see who else.
We're watching the front battle here. Forza Alonso pulling close to Mebby. Nick Dahi, Lance Stroll, El Majacco in 5th. Here comes Forza Alonso to the outside. I don't think that's going to work, but he's telling him. He's saying, hey, I'm here, buddy. Get ready. Brian Mosser now to 6th. McSendit, K-Dog, Ditchwitch, and Cooper Sonic rounding out your top 10. It's really hard.
Unfortunately, HSVDT with an on. That drops him down to last place.
It's really hard to leave this battle right now because the championship implications are there. And look at this draft that Forza Alonso has on Mebby. He's looking to the outside in turn 1. No. But he's off! Mebby's off! Over-under for Forza Alonso. He put the pressure on him and Mebby cracked. Here comes Nick Dahi for second. He's going to get second place. So Mebby from P1 down to 3rd. Wow. What's up, HWN 49er? Thanks for joining. Leafs Justin and Ohio State in mind. Thank you for the host. Metallica, glad you stopped in as well. Yeah, we are so ready for P-Cars too. We're ready for F1 2017 as well, but we've got a hell of a run going right here. Why is it showing Dahi in 3rd? First Alonso. Okay, now it's updated. Thank you very much. So we might be able to go a little farther back in the field now that this has settled down a bit. Mebby's putting some pressure on Nick Dahi, but what do we got going on back here? Because I saw a lot of passing here earlier.
It was a very insane first lap throughout the back. Everybody's kind of gotten themselves single file now. Unfortunately, another big loser of lap 1 looks to be Cooper Sonic. He had to pit in for a new wing.
That's killer for him. Here's K-Dog in 8th. These guys were trading positions earlier. He's fighting with Ditchwitch. And Psycho Sui, I'm going to say, is that name, Psycho Sui, who is running in 10th place right now in the Renault. This is a driver that's very, very new to the PRL, but he's ready to battle it out here in Melbourne. We'll talk a little bit about Mr. Clogmonger, birthday boy Clogmonger here in the Manor, trying to fight his way into the points. Had a really good run going last week before a little bit of misfortune pushed him a little farther back.
We just had an overtake. McSendit just passed Brian for 6th place.
I seen McSendit doing that climb.
Brian almost got him back with an over-under, but just couldn't quite make a stick.
And, of course, McSendit is on the soft tires, so...
Brian also, so both those guys are looking good.
Brian, too? Okay. Which I think, was Brian out of the top 10?
He was out of the top 10.
He was on brand new soft, so really good start for Brian Mosser, really.
Brian did a great job surviving the horrors of lap 1 there that unfortunately ate up a lot of guys, and he's looking really good right now.
So, we want to talk about this front battle. Mebby is putting pressure on Dahi. Now, Nick Dahi, of course, is on super soft. So, technically, if everything was perfect, he wouldn't need to race Nick Dahi right now. But the problem is, his championship competitor Forza Alonso, in first place, is on softs as well. So he's competing with that car up front. And the farther that car gets away from him, the more problems he has.
And not only on that, catching up to Mebe and Nick is Lance Stroll.
Lance is having an excellent start.
He got around Majacco, and he wants to fight for that gaggle for second right there.
As we were talking, Mebby passed Nick Dahi for second, and Lance
Stroll
to make it 3 wide. Wow. Stopped Dahi from making a move back on him. Lance Stroll moved him to third place. An excellent outside move there on the Red Bull of Dahi. But Mebby done what he had to do there, but now that the pressure goes on Mebby to catch Forza Alonso. He needs to make that gap closer. He's got to close that gap because when those guys hit pit lane, he's got to be on the back of that Haas. Frozen Toes, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. But we're going to have to keep a real close eye on those sector times on that gap because you can see him hanging it out. He's trying, but he's got to. He has no other choice, Hoodius.
Yep. Sorry, I'm sitting here just going through the field real quick just to see if there's anything else I can update. Which also, too, I don't know. I have this like sinking feeling in my gut that I'm going to feel bad after this race. I may have joked somebody the way my car is parked outside of turn 2. I really hope I didn't.
I think there's like 3 cars parked. I see mine, and then see there's mine. I'm kind of parked neatly, but you are right there, aren't you?
Yeah, that's why I don't know. I'm fearing my car may have made contact. And hopefully, I wasn't the one who spun Gord out around. I'm not sure. There was just too much choke, and there was like a 4 wide going into turn 1. So
right.
Who knows? I might have to send out, get well soon cards after this one.
Mitch Man, thank you for the host, my friend. Appreciate that. So we are watching back here.
I'm sorry to interrupt. While we were yapping, McSendit overtook Jacko for 5th.
Okay, so McSendit is coming forward on those softs. And of course, Majacco is on the super softs. He's on his own little race right now. And he's going to have to pit here soon because we know the super softs are about 7 to 9 laps. He had 2 qualifying laps on that pair. So
it almost makes me wonder if maybe he's taking it a little bit easy. Is he trying to get that extra lap back? Going to sacrifice a little time now to get himself back on the cycle?
It's going to be interesting to see. And what does he do? Is he planning on throwing those mediums on and trying to go the distance? Is he expecting a safety car to come out and kind of give him the lead after an early stop? I don't know. I mean, it's tough to bank on things like that, but he's got to have something in his head right now.
Because, like we talked about pre-race, he's just treble away from the other guys to being right back in the thick of it. You would almost want to throw the mediums off, just throw everything into the wind, try to do what you can, but then you're also risking maybe it doesn't make it, maybe you get a puncture, maybe you kill your finish, and then you have no hope going into Monaco. So he's really got a balance right now. Do you play it safe, or do you make this your championship run on his next pit stop?
It's something that's got to be on your mind. You got to be aggressive, but you can't put yourself in a bad position. Yep. We saw there, as we were talking, Nick Dahi making the move back around Lance Stroll. We saw that power move from Lance Stroll a few laps earlier, going around the outside of the Red Bull in turn 3. And here, Dahi says, anything you can do, I can do better. Puts it right back around him. Shades of Rick Mears and Michael Andretti in the 91 Indianapolis 500. But definite, excellent battle here for the 3rd position. And Lance is sticking right with him as well. He's not allowing the Red Bull to get away. A little bit of dust there kicking up. But he's got that draft, and he's ready to make another move here if he gets the opportunity. 2 DRS activation zones. The front stretch is DRS zone number 1, and then after turns 1 and 2, you have another DRS activation zone down into 3. We're seeing a lot of pit stops now, Hoodius. Nick Dahi and Lance Stroll in. See what tire compounds go on. They're going softs on the Stroll car. Nick Dahi, what has he got on the side? Those are softs as well. So we are seeing the yellow sidewall softs go on these cars, which means they're thinking two-stop strategies. Nobody's going for one stop here.
Yep. Not only that, too, now they're going to have to fight their way back up through traffic. This is what we saw last week with Mebe. They got him in trouble. So right now the field's a little bit more spread out and maybe not as dangerous, especially since they have traction. There's no rain, but nothing's a given. That's, the risk you always take with starting on that softer compound and having to do the early pit.
How's it going, Frozen? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, you got to say, when you got a league that's this close and this competitive, it is very dangerous to make those early stops because you can find yourself behind cars that aren't that much slower than you are, which makes it tough to make those passes and continue to have those good gap times to the guys you're racing. Frozen, points leader, you are looking at him actually right now, the Haas of Forza Alonso, who is leading the points by a mere 12 over second place Mebe. So the top two are your championship contenders. Now, however, in fourth is El Majaco, who is only 21 points back as well. So those guys are still alive in this thing, and they are all up front right now. McSindit is the only guy out of the championship hunt spreading things out. Ooh, Bubba out of the session there.
He was already running in last place. He had a pretty rough start to this race. He had 2 pit stops, so not sure if that was damage or maybe just went and hit the snack bar early.
He says, "Well, I think I'm done. We might catch him."
Actually, he was complaining of sinus issues earlier too, so maybe he just called it a night.
It is that time of year, actually. We got all the allergies going in the Job house, I can tell you that.
And the more I'm watching him right now, the more I'm really thinking Majaco is trying to stretch these super softs. Because now he's fallen into a Brian Mosser has caught him. K-Dog is right behind him. So I think, whoa, Brian.
He's trying hard.
Yeah,
Brian Mosser looking for fourth place there. Majaco really can't give it to him. He's coming in this time. He's got to. He's already gone farther than I expected.
Yeah.
So
I would think by lap 10 that should be pretty much everybody we would see in. Oh no, Brian!
Brian is trying hard.
Yep,
and
a little wing
nearly
touch.
Bit him. K-Dog there.
That shouldn't have been any damage though for Brian. So he just lost a little bit of time. That's all.
He's got to make sure that K-Dog doesn't get on top of him now. That's a very, very tight battle there as well. Mac, I agree, man. I think the Project Cars 2 is going to turn a lot of people on, and I have no doubt that it will be just as competitive as what we're seeing here, no doubt. And I know for the IndyCar League, there's a couple of guys that are in this league going to be hopping over to race IndyCars with us on Friday nights. Everybody's getting ready for the new leagues. Actually, the next season, Season 9, which will be happening in F1 2017 for this league, sign-up started on Sunday. And what was it, 3 hours? There was only 2 spots left, and it's obviously now full.
And at this point, there's 5 guys waiting for a spot.
See, I mean, this is just, it's the most popular league for a reason. You can see it. You see it every week. And it's just, it's fantastic. But if you want to get in on this for next season, hit that, I'll put the PRL link in the chat. Hit that link, because you can still get in as a reserve driver. We see reserve drivers racing every week, so I would not allow that to deter you. As well as the Project Cars League. Those leagues are going to fill up quick. We're going to have Tuesday nights will be the GT3 League, and then Friday nights will be the IndyCar League. So I would recommend getting in those. Of course, we're talking about PS4 leagues, but there will be Xbox leagues as well. There will be PC leagues as well. So definitely. I know F1 the F1 stuff has a lot of PC leagues. They have no assist leagues. They have full assist leagues. They have Europe, Pacific. I mean, they got everything. They got everything.
Brian Mosser relinquished 4th place. He just took mediums.
He went to the mediums. Okay,
he went to the mediums.
That is your first driver who is looking to make this a one-stop race. And I must say, that's not a terrible idea at this point because we've not seen a safety car yet. I mean, you would bet that your safety car would have come in the first 10 laps of this race. The fact that it hasn't makes a betting man think, well, maybe it won't for the rest of the race.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's pretty well spread out, single file. Medbay, though, is slowly catching up to Forza. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 laps ago is about 2.5 seconds, down to about 1.5 now.
He is closing the gap. Now the question is, when do these guys hit pit lane? You would think that Forza would want to hit early, knowing that he's giving time back.
Right now, they're both waiting to see who blinks. I guarantee you, every time they're coming, going into those final turns, it's trying to see who's in what position. Because it's so hard, like with the undercut work, with the overcut, they're just trying to size each other up right now.
Right, and it is, neither of them wants to blink because they don't want to be the one that catches the wrong end of that deal.
Yep.
K1, are you talking about a NASCAR League inside Project Cars 2, or are you talking about NASCAR Heat 2? Because the NASCAR Heat 2 League will be run on Wednesday nights, and I believe Judius is the man heading up that endeavor as well?
That is correct. Yeah, we're going to start with a 10-race Cup season, and then once we get time to really test the game, see how Xfinity, see how trucks are, Season 2, Season 3 of Heat 2, who knows what we might do.
And Clutch, the sign-ups for the IndyCar and GT3 League for Project Cars 2 will come 2 weeks before the release of the game. That was what Aaron told us earlier today or yesterday, I think it was. So we're all excited to get on there and pick our cars, but we're going to have to wait a little while longer. I was super happy the other day. I was at work and I was thinking, and I realized that Brian Clausen will be in Project Cars 2.
Yep.
And it warmed my heart, really, and I'm hoping that K-Dog decides to pick one of his teammates, because I would absolutely love to run that Brian Clausen car on Friday nights. It's fantastic that that's going to be there, and I can't wait.
Just to touch back what you were saying too earlier about the competition that's going to be in those Project Cars leagues. That's why I'm trying to soak up all the podiums that I can now in this season, because, man, when you come back, when Matt's, when Probin, those leagues are just going to be stacked. It's going to be so much fun. There's going to be no room for error.
The guy leading this race says he's going to be running the IndyCar League, so, I mean...
That's going to be a blast, too.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So, we're watching this battle, and it is getting closer.
Yep, 1.2
12 laps in. 12 laps in. Now, we talked about the tire wear, okay? Super softs are about 7 to 9 laps. Softs are 10 to 11 laps. And mediums are 16 to 18 laps. So, I think it's safe to say that these guys are trying to make this a one-stop race, Judius. They've already gone longer than what you would expect the normal lifetime of these soft tires are. So... you got to think these guys are going to try to go in and go mediums, and you'll look at this. Meby's right on his back bumper.
Yeah, Meby has closed the gap so much.
He's got to come in,
Forza.
and he is.
And
Meby wanted another lap. He wanted another lap. He was thinking about it. He was like, "Oh, I know Forza's struggling hard. Maybe I can get one more lap." But he couldn't. He couldn't risk it. He couldn't risk it.
I'm expecting both of them should go on mediums. Let's see. Yep, there's the whites for Meby.
Yep. So they're. Forza Alonso...
White's also... a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, a little more than what they had, actually.
Yep.
I was a little worried...
too, maybe a little sportsmanship there. Forza kind of got into the pits a little slow. So I wonder if that little stop and go is what built that gap.
What you're saying, there was a little bit of a Fernando Alonso, Lewis Hamilton deal there, huh? Look at Dahi around the outside of the leader. He's going to get the preferred line into the next corner.
Wow. Great pass.
Nick Dahi to the lead on the softs. Pit strategy coming into play here with 13 laps down.
That's what Dahi needed. He has to make another pit stop. He needed to get around Forza. He needs to, excuse my French, he needs to haul ass. He has to build that gap right now, because everybody else can make it. Or, the other two cars, I should say, behind him can make it. He can't.
Meby really, really dodged a bullet. He's getting those tires up to temperature. He had Lance Stroll all over him as well. Wow. So that was something that could have been very dangerous for his hopes. Now, here's the thing. Forza Alonso, he's seeing stars right now. If he can, there was a big problem for Dahi off that corner. Forza Alonso's going to get around just what he wanted. That is perfect, but for Forza Alonso, because now he's got a car buffer between himself and Mebby. So the guy he's battling in the championship, the guy he's battling for this race win, now has to clear that Red Bull. But it might be an easy thing here because it looks like Dahi is struggling on those softs, and he's got DRS.
Yeah, I'm wondering, because Dahi pitted, 4 laps ago? You know, if you're going super, super hard, you could do some damage in those 4 laps, extend it laying down a nice one. But yeah, Dahi may have already kind of worn him out a little bit more than he wanted to.
Look at the top 4 in this race. Look at the top 4.
Yeah, Lance Stroll. Call out.
Are you kidding me?
That's nuts.
We've got a PRL race going, guys. We've got a PRL race going. Mitch, man, yeah, I mean, it just hit me out of the blue, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize. Of course, Brian's legacy lives on through his organ donation and through, all of the people he touched. I had the privilege of racing with Brian. I had the privilege of chatting with him, of being, friends, and it was... You've heard me talk countless times of my problems with the sport because of safety. And losing guys like him and losing guys like Justin Wilson have really taken me out of the sport. And the fact that I'm going to get the chance to drive as Brian in the game is cool to me. It's not like an homage. It's not like a thing that I'm going to try to honor him with, but just to have that link to him, is nice. It's nice. We miss him every day. There's no doubt about it. Now, as I was talking, Mebby was able to get around Nick Dahi, and Dahi now under fire from Lance Stroll. So Mebby, but this is deja vu for Mebby, Hoodius, because here he was 2 seconds back from the race leader earlier, and he had to run him down, and look at him now, a second and a half back. He's got to do it again.
Well, from this point, though, Mebby knows the situation. He's got 14 laps. He's got guys who have to pit behind him, so it's just him and Forza from this point. So, be methodical, be smart, don't lose the gap. You maybe don't have to gain every single lap, but don't lose time. Right. So that's going to be the big key. And while that's going on, I want to do a quick call out. K-Dog and Psycho Sui are having a great battle right now for 8th place.
Let's see if we can get back to him here. McSendit, who had the fastest lap of the race moments ago, 8 seconds back from the leader, is trying to catch that top 4. Majako in 6th. He is 16 seconds back on soft, so this is not really the way Majako wanted this race to go. 7th place, Brian Mosser, 24 seconds back. He is good to go to the finish, so this is a guy that we could see past some of those soft drivers.
Potentially, Brian's going to need to take a little bit more care, because he pitted on lap 10, so that means 15 laps on those mediums. So it can be done, but it's not a given, so he's got to take care of them.
It's about all they want, really.
Yep.
Mitch Man says, as long as I get to drive as Buddy Lazier in the league, you'll be happy. That was another one of my things. Buddy is a favorite of mine. He was the reason I drove the 91 on my race cars, and it's cool to have him there. He's kind of late in his career. He's bought that car, and he's kind of collecting the money. What do we got?
Oh, no. I saw a Haas in the grass. It was Aaron.
It was Aaron, okay. Lance Stroll, though, Lance Stroll around the outside, they cannot stop that. Turn 3, those boys have passed each other on the outside 3 different times. Nick Dahi back to 4th, struggling on those softs, and Lance Stroll sitting on the podium in his 2nd PRL race.
Fantastic run for him. Now, both him and Nick are going to have to pit, but right now, Lance is in the, he's where he wants to be. So he'll be able to dictate the pit strategy and the race that these two are going to have for that last podium spot.
That gap between the top 2 has seemingly stabilized right around 1.8, 1.9. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, but right now Mebby is not catching your race leader. Mitch Man says, Brian Clausen set up an invitational race right down the street for me. Got to talk to him, shake his hand. He was a fantastic guy. Brian Clausen was one of those guys that had a lot of help behind him. He had all the support he needed. You know, real young guy up through the ranks. It was borderline one of those things where you could kind of be jealous of him and you know, one of those rich racer type deals, which was not the case. But you know, racers get that feeling towards other racers because I don't have what they have. You know what I'm saying? But Brian Clausen was such a nice guy, was such a fantastic person that you didn't have any of that. And he didn't care if you were the lowest of the low racer. He didn't care if you were, you know, Dale Earnhardt. It didn't matter. He treats you the same way, and that was what was so great about him. Keselowski shutting down his truck team after this year. We saw that today. Yeah, Brad Keselowski Racing closing up. Let's see if he doesn't have other plans out there, though, too.
It sounds like he does. It sounds like this just might be a temporary closing, and, you know, he was trying not to drop too many hints about it, but it sounds like he's got some exciting things moving forward. And Mebe right now is really pushing. He has lost even more time. He's about 2.5 seconds back.
Yeah. I was going to say, we heard that Dodge is not quite out of NASCAR yet. You know, they had said, no, we're not coming back, but then all of a sudden we're hearing rumors that Dodge is coming back, and we know Brad Keselowski has ties there. So let's keep an eye on that. Two Wolf Design. He always runs the 45 because of Adam Petty, who was a close friend when he was a lot younger. You know, that's another one. That's another. There's so many of them. You can go through the list of great guys that we've lost, and that's what makes the sport so tough. And it's just, you know, it's nice to have that link because you can get really, I get really upset at the sport because of it.
Quick update. So Nick just got around Lance. Lance immediately dove into pit road. He just put on his last set of softs.
So Lance Stroll into the pits.
It'll be interesting to see how much longer Nick stays out, because that's our fight for third right there.
McSendit 10 seconds back. I think he's actually a little farther back than that because he's got mediums on now. So McSendit good to go to the finish. El Majaco in 5th on the softs.
Now, one thing that might hurt Lance is that he came out directly behind Brian, so he's going to have to fight Brian real quick to get around him and hopefully not lose time on the Delta to Nick.
The thing that Lance has going for him, however, is he's on those softs, and Brian, of course, on the mediums. He's not going to waste any time. Lance Stroll making the pass there through the dog leg, and he's got it. Brian's not giving up. You saw those brake rotors on the front of the Mercedes.
He fights for every
or the McLaren, sorry. Yeah, and he was definitely trying hard, but unable to do anything with him.
And while we were yapping, Zeus Man, sitting back in 10th place right now, just put down the fastest lap. I'm assuming he just put on fresh supers.
Could be. Mebe here. That gap, you know, he had a couple of tenths there through Sector 3, but it's gone back down to 2.4. He's just unable to close it right now. Now, there's one thing that we could say. In the first stint, Forza Alonso struggled more on older tires than Mebe did, and Mebe was able to close that gap. Do you think, Hootius, that is a sign of maybe a little bit of a different setup between those guys? You think Mebe's got a little more downforce, so when the tires wear off, he can continue to make those forward movements, or was that maybe just an anomaly?
See, it's hard to tell. I mean, it very well could be, and to be honest, maybe there is a little bit more to it, because we saw Mebe slowly take a 10th here, 10th here. Then that last lap before they went into the pits, that's when he took that huge chunk out. But I'm wondering how much of that may have been, you know, it stinks we cannot see the tire wear. Maybe Forza was right on the edge. Maybe he said, hey, I'm slowing down and I'm slowing you down with me kind of deal. But, yeah, I wouldn't be totally shocked if it is a downforce deal and and Mebe is just trying to bide his time.
Right. We had a little moment there. Timing and scoring went nuts. Mebe went back to third and was 2.5 minutes back from the race leader. It's like, what in the world is going on here? But it looks like that's all rectified.
You know, there might be somebody crashing this last podium party. As I'm looking, McSendit is right behind Nick Dye, who has to get in.
He's got the mediums on too. Let's do a run through the field here. HSVDT out. Not sure what happened there. Let's keep an eye on that safety car here. So we're going to start here. Forza
Turn him on
Alonso, your
damage.
race leader. So he did crash.
He did crash out.
Let's keep an eye. I wouldn't mind seeing a safety car.
It would have already came out right now. So, which is continuing the streak. I want to say that's 8 straight crash outs now over the last 3 races with no safety car.
That's crazy.
And the option was turned on. I actually looked for it this week.
Right. So P1, Forza Alonso, your championship leader, right here. So he's doing everything he needs to do. Mebby, who is second in the points, only 12 points back, is second in this race as well, but he's going the wrong direction. He's losing time to the race leader. In third, his teammate McSendit, fresh off an excellent run last week, right around Nick Dahi. There you go.
Which at this point now too, if Mebe is, or not Mebe, I'm sorry, if McSendit is questioning if these mediums could take it to the end, he could pretty much have a free pit stop and still keep the podium.
Right. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what McSendit's got here.
Here comes
Dahi
Nick.
Into the pits. So there he goes from 4th, Nick Dahi. So we're going to go back to 5th here, Lance Stroll, who's going to try to make up that distance.
I'm going to be watching Stroll and see where Nick comes out of the pits compared to him.
Brian Mosser, who is running 6th, he is good to go to the finish on those tires, 37 seconds behind the race leader. K-Dog having a good run in 7th, and he is still battling with Psycho Sui. Those two
have been
going at it.
Wow.
Behind him,
Lance has a significant gap over Nick.
So he is past Nick Dahi. There you go. Into 4th goes Lance Stroll. El Majaco having an absolute struggle of a race. 9th here. Not what he was looking for. 3rd place in the championship, and it is not going well. It is very likely that he will be eliminated from championship contention this week. He's got to have something change. Zeusman, the Ferrari, running 10th right now with the quickest lap, and you were right, Hoodius. He's got those super soft tires on that car. Birthday Boy Clogmonger in 11th. What we got?
Nick put on supers.
Okay.
So he's going to be looking to run him down.
He's going to take a shot at it. Clogmonger trying to get his birthday present in the form of at least 1 point there. He's got a little work to do, but he's close in 11th.
Well, he's on mediums. He might make it if somebody else has to pit.
Cooper Sonic in 12th. He was saying before the race that this is not one of his favorite tracks, but here he is. He's running 12th. Ditch Witch, who had a really good qualifying session, seemingly not having a great race session. He's running 14th. He just got passed by Aaron Webb, who is a lap down. Aaron running 13th. He had problems early on in the race. Started, 9th on the soft tires, and was caught up in the first corner problems. KWP has gone around Ditch Witch for 14th into Toro Rosso. Pork Chops there, back in his beautiful Sauber, letting Majaco by. He's running 16th. Gordout in 17th is, I believe, the final car in the race right now. The second Ferrari, 2 minutes and 18 seconds back. Bubba here is ghosted out because he has disconnected from the race. So we are back up front.
3.5 seconds right now.
The gap is growing. The gap is growing.
7 laps, 3.5 seconds. That is huge.
I gotta say, Hoodius, if we don't get a safety car here very soon, I think this race is going to go into the pocket of Forza Alonso, and that is going to be a significant statement in this championship because the difference between 1st and 2nd is 7 points. He's already got 12 on him, so you would go into the final race 19 points ahead, and that is nothing short of Mebby winning and Alonso not finishing in the points. So it's very, very big for something to change here for Mebby.
Which we can't state it enough. It's Monaco. Like,
it is.
You know, that's what Forza's thinking right now. He wants this gap. 19 points. He wish it was more.
Yep.
Nick just throwing down the fastest lap.
He needs every point he can get, for sure. Yeah,
but he would feel a hell of a lot more comfortable going into Monaco with 19 points compared to, if it was just, still at a dozen or anything like that.
McSendit here, 13 seconds back. Lance Stroll, 31 seconds back, and Nick Dahi, 32 seconds back. It looks like Dahi's going to be able to make a move on Stroll.
Yeah, he's closed the gap on Lance.
that difference between those super softs and the softs is significant right now.
Especially too, since Lance, I believe this is probably like 5 laps into these softs, so they've, they're not by any means damaged, but they are worn, and compared against fresh supers, that's a tough battle. Though he is trying to use this toe off the lap car to his advantage. But
we'll see what he's able to do.
6 more laps, though. I don't know how many more lap cars he can have help him like that. Here we go. To the outside.
Looking to the outside, Nick Dahi's going to make that pass. I don't think Lance made it too tough. He knows that Dahi's got the quicker tires right now.
I'm thinking
so. Lance,
yeah, he's in a great spot with a great finish. Don't risk it.
Yep. Using that brain is the man in the Williams, having a great second start here in the PRL.
Which is funny, coming from a driver named Lance Stroll.
A little different.
Got it in this week. Got it in.
Clutchin says he likes Joseph Newgarden and Ed Carpenter's paints. Yeah. Which, of course, Newgarden in Project Cars 2 will still be teammates with Carpenter, whereas now he has moved on to Team Penske and is winning a lot of races, actually.
I really need to start looking into the liveries. I have no idea which IndyCar.
I've been all over that, dude.
Especially, I'm gonna pull organizer privileges. I'm gonna get top pick, so I can figure out which one I want.
I posted it. I posted it in the Project Cars 2 Discord. The 2016 Indy 500 starting lineup with all the liveries, and those are guaranteed to be in the game. So you want to check that out. And actually, I posted a link to the Discord in the chat there. So if you guys want to join the Discord, we've got over 60 members in the Discord. We're talking racing games and racing and everything other than that. Every single day on the Discord. Very, very supportive community. I recommend getting on that highly.
So just an update, our boy Brian unfortunately could not make it. So he actually, I'm thinking he knew he couldn't make it, so he dove in a little early, just put on fresh supers. It had him fall down to 9th, but he's right on Psycho Sui. So I'm sure Brian will be able to make that overtake and go back to 8th place.
Psycho's on some reds too here. This is interesting.
Yeah, but I believe Psycho pitted. I think I saw him in the pits 2 or 3 laps ago.
So there's definitely a difference in... Yep. Let's see what kind of wild move Brian makes
is not
here.
wanting to wait.
Yeah, there's not...
I love watching it. I hate being the other guy for it.
There is not much patience in that boy, we'll tell you. Brian is looking to make the move on the Renault. He's looking to make it quick. He's got DRS coming up.
Yeah, I was about to say he's well within DRS. So
yeah, he's got to use that head
protect that wing, Brian.
He's got...
Oh, yeah.
It's going to happen.
Good run,
right
too.
He had to lift a little bit, but he's going to have that toe. He's got DRS. Yep. Feels really comfortable getting down into turn 1 here. Psycho Sui's not going to make it easy, though. That is my car, which somehow moved to turn 1.
Why is your car backwards now?
And backwards and spinning the tires. You see the tires spinning in the grass?
Zeusman just retook the fastest lap again.
Zeusman turning in some good ones. Alexander Rossi, yep, that's another one that's going to be in there. So Brian's up to 8th. He's got a battle with K-Dog here. Well, I guess he got Majako between himself and K-Dog.
Just for the final spot for the podium, McSenda has 17 seconds on Nick. So at this point, I think he can coast relatively comfortably and make those mediums make it.
Everybody in the top 3 relatively comfortable right now. We've had a great...
Comfortable on tires, yes, but I guarantee you Mebe is not comfortable in that seat right now. He knows what's happening to his championship hopes right now.
He's not happy.
That is not a very comfy seat to be in.
The thing is, when you've got a guy that's driven a perfect race, it's hard to beat him. Yeah. It is hard to beat him, and here he is, not putting a wheel wrong like he has for 6 straight races. 6 straight races, never finishing out of the top 2, and he's looking to extend that streak, and he's only got 4 laps left to do it. Clutch is going to drive the breast cancer car. You're talking about Pippa Man? You're going to drive Pippa Man? Son, I'm going to have a talk with you here in a little bit. Okay?
Kyle, I'm all about the boobies, bro. But, come on.
We got to have a talk, all right?
Majako looks like he's going to close in on K-Dog. They're going to have a battle for 6th before this is over.
Well, we'll go back there and watch that, because right now there is nothing going on here in this battle.
Nothing but sunshine in Forza Alonso's future right now.
Ooh, Majako a little loose off of that corner.
Yeah, I think he knew he had a chance to close this gap, so he's pushing a little hard. Because I know K-Dog's mediums they've got to be pretty worn out at this point. Majako is probably about, if I had to guess, maybe 40-50% on those softs.
Yeah, and he's trying to get everything that he can get. He knows that his championship hopes are basically shot at this point.
And not only that, too, he's very passionate about this league. He loves this league. Unfortunately, with the new connection speed rule going in place in PRL, Monaco's going to be his last race in this league. So he doesn't want to go down, with a little pop. He wants to go out with a bang. So unfortunately, it doesn't like he's going to do it on his home track. Jacko is super confident at Monaco, though, so I'm pretty sure he wants to say farewell on the highest step.
I'm sure that we will see a great race from him, and it's gonna be sad to see some of these guys not with the American League. Of course, he's going to go back to the Pacific League, where he has excellent success. He is one of the guys that has just won more than anybody else in the Pacific League.
Except he's going to have that stiffest of competition. A girlfriend who's just as good as he is.
See, there you go. We saw her name earlier this year running these cars. So, but it's one of those things. We've seen lag. We've seen guys jumping around doing crazy things. So, the PRL has decided we've got to do something about that.
Oh, we got a heartbreaker.
Uh-oh.
Brian broke his wing. He's in the pits.
He broke his wing.
Yeah, I think I didn't get to see it, but I'm assuming he tried to overtake Psycho, and that was all she wrote, which stunk because Brian had a great race going on.
He did. We talked about his patience level there, and it must have got the better of him.
I think it bit him. Aaron.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at that.
A little bit of sunshine on his gloomy day.
Mitchman says Mikhail Leshin's car is looking fire. I think that's the Doom car, isn't it? So that's that's a good one.
Oh, I know my car. Hell yeah.
K-Dog getting passed here by Majako, so move Majako to 6th. Lance Stroll 33 seconds back from the leader, only 3 seconds back from Nick Dahi. McSendit there on the podium, looking for his second straight podium. Mebby is actually closing the gap, but I am guessing that is because Forza Alonso is taking it easy. He wants to make sure that he doesn't make any big mistakes.
I am more than confident that is the case.
Ohio State of Mind says, I haven't watched much IndyCar since the split, but next year's IndyCars are the best looking ones since Kart's DP01. They are very, very close to the DP01s, that's for sure. And if you, wow, you realize that's like 21 years.
I was about to say, that is a hell of a gap you got going on there.
Ohio State of Mind is an OG like myself. Although I watched a lot of IRL during the years of the split.
I loved the IRL when they had their split.
So Clutch is putting dibs on Carpenter, Rossi,
oh my God.
Simon Pagenaud, Connor Daly, or Ryan Hunter-Ray. He's covering all of his bases there.
Poor Lance Stroll. He just wants to come home with his great 5th place finish. He's got Brian on fresh tires. He's got Aaron on fresh tires. Those two are starting to go at it. They just both overtook Lance. He wants no part of this.
So we're watching him. Half a lap left. Round 18. This man has 6 straight top 2 finishes. He's making it 7 here. No problems for the man who has won more PRL Formula 1 races than any other. 35 in total. Working on 36 here. And what would be, ladies and gentlemen, his 6th win of the season. Forza Alonso slowly around the final 2 corners. He's going to win round 18 and take a 19-point gap into the final race at Monaco.
Number 6 ties him with Mebe for the league lead. Both. That was their 11th podium of the season.
Unbelievable stuff. Those guys, hard to beat. Hard to beat. And like we said last week, there's McSendit. He's happy about that podium.
Wiggle
which he battled from 8th on the grid, so congratulations,
Great
McSendit.
strategy and execution from McSendit.
He did fantastic, fantastic. We talked last week about our race winner who has missed 3 races this season. So he's missed 3 races, leading the points going into the final race. I mean, it's just...
Well, not only that, so he missed 3, and he had the DNF in Japan. And really what it comes down to is Mebe had 5 DNFs. So he has that one extra race with no points, which the 19-point difference, there you go. That is the championship right now, is that one extra DNF.
And you had Mebby as well with a handful of points deducted in round 13 as well. So that 5-point penalty, wow, he'd love to have that back right now.
Which he would definitely love to have that back, but at the same time too, there was the qualifying incident between Forza and Dubsy that cost Forza 2 points.
Right.
So yeah, they both, I know they're both kind of wanting those back.
Psycho Sui in what I believe is his second PRL race. He's got points there in 8th.
Yes, he does.
Cooper Sonic's going to take a point as well. He was not looking forward to this race, but here he is, Cooper Sonic, final points paying position of the race. Pork Chop, what's going on here?
Oh no.
Is this some early celebration? He's going to finish backwards, ladies and gentlemen. Pork Chop says, "You're not going to stop me. I'm going to cross this line," and he does, ending the game.
Pork, I want to know how many punctured tires you have.
What?
Because I've counted at least 2.
McSendit, fantastic run, dude. Getting that second straight podium. Great job. So there you have it. Your winner, Forza Alonso. Points leader, 19 points ahead going into the final race at Monaco. The man is on a mission. 6 wins this season. Unbelievable. Pork Chops in the chat. Fuck that race. Does not having a good time.